Rock the Ripple. Rock the Ripple. The Rock the Ripple podcast with Narita McInnes.
Let's do this. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Rock the Ripple podcast. I'm your host, Narita McInnes. It is so awesome to be here with you as always. And today is another very exciting day because I have an amazing, wise, incredible soul to chat with on the show. Before I dive into that though, just a quick little reminder, the doors to the Frequency Shift Mastermind are now open. If you want to get some shit done and work with some epic humans together as a team, we kick off in October. So I will link that in the description and show notes. So if you're interested, check it out. But with that said, it is now time to introduce my very special guest. His name is Nathan. He is a kinesiologist. He is a wise, amazing, incredible soul. There is so much to this awesome human. So without any further ado, Nathan, welcome to the show.
Hi, Narita. Thanks for having me. What an intro.
It's so cool to have you. I just realized I didn't say your last name. So
It's Gunnar. Yep.
Gunnar, isn't it? It's Nathan Gunnar.
Yep.
He is an incredible kinesiologist. Now, I'm so excited that you're on the show because there is, kinesiology is so incredible. But maybe before we sort of get into the power of that and all that sort of stuff, you can introduce yourself and then we can dive a bit into your story and how you decided to walk this path as well.
Yeah, wow. How much time do you have?
Days and days.
Awesome. So first up, my name's Nathan. I'm a kinesiologist based in Brayside here in Victoria, working out of a little gym called Verde Fitness Studio. I opened my practice up last year to actually working with people, but before that, there's been about 3-4 years of study, and I'm still continuing to study at a college called Kinesiology Connection. I'm learning a modality of kinesiology that's based on energy, right? So there are a few different forms of kinesiology, some of which chiropractors do, which is called applied kinesiology, which is more based on physical muscle testing and finding physical imbalances in the body. But I work in the energy world, so with energy medicine. So it's completely different to the medical world. This was developed by first Dr. John Thie, who started Touch for Health, who kind of started incorporating the meridian system and traditional Chinese medicine into muscle testing in the physical body and finding imbalances like that. And then from there, a guy named Dr. Bruce Dew out of New Zealand developed this amazing modality called PKP, Professional Kinesiology Practice, where he dove even deeper into the connections, not only between the meridians and the organs, but also our outer world as well. So our relationships, our environment, and how it's all interconnected. So you got the full micro, which is the energy systems inside the body, going all the way out into the world that we live in and finding imbalances there, because we can't be separated, can we?
No.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So, I mean, there is so much to you, and I've had the pleasure of getting to know you over these last few years, and you're just a gun at what you do. Maybe that's why that's in your last name.
I usually get gunner, which is like I'm going to do something, which is also like me. I got a lot to do. Lots to finish.
You do. You got a lot of people to work with as well, with the power of what you do. So it's bloody incredible. Now, I'd love to know what got you into kinesiology and what that road looked like for you. I know it's a bit of a journey, and would love to have you share what feels right for you today.
Yeah, well, it's funny you bring it up because I've been writing a bio for my website. My website's been up for about a year or so, and I haven't put anything about me or my story on there until this week. I actually finished it and it's ready to be put up either today or tomorrow. So I thought I'm gonna be honest about my story and because it was founded upon pretty deep personal experience. I tried kinesiology first in 2019 after I was in a relationship where a lot of the old past wounds were coming up to the surface, both for me and this other person. And I had no idea what it was. And after the first session, I felt absolutely incredible. Like the weight of the world had been lifted off my shoulders somehow that I didn't even know I was carrying. So that was my first experience with kinesiology. However, later on in that year, the wounds kept coming to the surface. More stuff kept coming up. I wasn't on the right path, wasn't with the right person, wasn't in the right mindset, and basically everything from the past caught up with me. Stuff that I'd probably depressed for a long time or suppressed for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it got to the point where I chose not to be here anymore. And I made a really severe attempt at taking my own life in a car accident, and had a bit of a profound experience after I'd done what I'd done, and was sent back here. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. So the car accident left me with quite a severely fractured spine, broken arm, nearly a broken neck, and nearly a broken leg, but some pretty bad damage to my body. And sorry, I'm struggling to talk.
No, it's a big story, and thank you for sharing it. Thank you for sharing it.
You're right. Yeah, I thought it's time to tell, but didn't know how hard it was going to be. Yeah, so I was airlifted to the hospital, and obviously a bit of a broken man, completely broken, and scared the shit out of everyone around me. So I basically knew from being in the hospital after a week or so that I need to make a huge change in my life. I was on the wrong path, with the wrong person, in the wrong place, doing the wrong things. And I needed a new kind of alignment, I guess. So about 2 weeks into being in hospital, I, with the help of my sister, was able to fill out some enrollment forms to a diploma in kinesiology.
Mm.
And I think at that time, I still couldn't write or couldn't walk or anything. But by the time the first class rolled around, I was still in hospital. They let me out into the wild for a day or 2 days to give kinesiology a go. And I rolled up to my first class to the front row with my back brace on, walking stick, neck brace, plaster, big beard down to here.
Nice.
Yeah, real rough looking. And I think at the time I was only about 60 kilos as well. So I was like super thin, super unwell. And basically told exactly this story to the people in my class on that first day.
Wow.
And from that first day, we had this like deep connection. We're all able to be like super honest with each other at a really profound level, which was amazing. And that whole first class was on self-care. First weekend workshop, self-care. And I think after that workshop, I just felt I just had a knowing that this was for me. This was the way forward, and these people who I'd met, like were on the same path as me. The teachers had this amazing knowledge of not just the physical body, but the emotional body, about nutrition, about how to really look after yourselves holistically and take responsibility for your own life instead of people working on you, telling you what you need for your body. It's like it was more empowering of them finding out how you can do it for yourself. And so I never looked back, and I took the opportunity to keep learning and using these tools to help myself get back into life. And get walking again, get moving again, get living again, get social again, which wasn't easy during a pandemic as well. But so that was an added pressure on top of all of this while that was going on. But kinesiology was like my safe house, and that was my driving force to keep me going to where I am today. And I've gone through so much with other modalities as well, but chiropractic has helped me, but kinesiology has been like the rock where everything else has rippled.
Love that. Thanks for that.
Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, so that's my story. I'm still studying. I'm in advanced studies now. I've undertaken an international diploma. Now I'm done a diploma of energy psychology, and currently doing one of metaphysical energy and learning difficulties. And just keep continuing to learn and grow, and ready to share this amazing stuff with the world.
That is incredible. Nath, first of all, I just really want to honor you for sharing your story. It's not always easy doing that sort of thing, but it's also very empowering because, these are the things that make us who we are, and they're what shapes us. And what I love about your story is, and I think we can see this in other people's journeys along the way too, is our rock bottom is the catalyst that puts us on the right path. And so even though they can be the toughest, hardest times, they are also the most beautiful times all in one, because they shift us straight to where we really need to be going. And I know I've had a session with you. I know for sure you are meant to be a kinesiologist. Your innate wisdom, even above and beyond your training and the knowledge that you've learned, it's just incredible. So that is what you're meant to be doing. Like and I'm saying it, I get goosebumps, but I know it as well. I just know it in my being, and I know that you know that too. So that's just so special.
Thanks, Rita. That's awesome. Awesome to hear.
Yeah. And
I love
it. Oh, God, sorry.
Sometimes it's hard to accept it, like this is the silver lining, hey? To be able to share this with everyone, and something so good can come from such a dark place. I don't think without the synchronicities and everything, and the learnings and the growth from that place has just been like a complete rebirth. So thank you.
It's astronomical, isn't it? It's just, and it's also that hero's journey as well, isn't it? Like we all and we're continually having them as we go, but and maybe for some of us we have more than just one rock bottom. There's no rules around that too. So wherever, if you're someone who's listening to this conversation with us now, and wherever this may meet, that's where you're meant to be. And just I love that you shared that with us, Nathan. So thank you so much. It's just awesome. Yeah. And, I think one thing, like I said, I've had a session with you, and I've had other kinesiology sessions, and I've got to say, it is one of the most powerful healing modalities out there. I mean, I've tried a lot, and I love exploring different things. EFT has been extremely powerful for me as well. And there's just, quantum healing, hypnosis technique, all those things. With kinesiology, I know for myself, I remember another particular session where I just had the biggest release. like, and what you said about not knowing you were carrying it, not knowing that was there, and then to be on the table and to just touch a few points on your arm, or just and then to all of a sudden have this massive like release of just crying, not a little cry, but like the howling. Like there is some like you are crying for your ancestors, like just stuff comes up. And I mean, it's not like that in every session, of course, but when it is, like, how powerful. Can you talk a bit about that? Because I just find it so just so interesting and so freeing as well, you know?
It is massive. Those releases are huge, aren't they? They're like the body can hold on to so much that we're not even aware of sometimes. We know that when we get stressed, our muscles can get tight. And we know that when bad stuff happens to us, or we're in the wrong situations, that we can just depress things, suppress things, because we don't know how to deal with it. And it's actually not safe for us to deal with at the time, because we don't have the tools to be able to process what's actually happened, which is why trauma gets stuck in the body. And then that can be passed on through generations, like you're saying with that ancestral stuff. It's like these are wounds that were felt along the family line for sure. Going back to like the power of kinesiology and why I think it's so different to everything else is you're not being worked on, so to speak. Like, you as the client are the driver. You are the captain of your ship, and it puts you back in the captain's seat and empowers you to make the change. And the muscle testing and the way we gather information as practitioners is just a way of being able to communicate with the innate wisdom of your own body. Like, no one knows your story like you do. So if another practitioner comes along and tells you things, it's like they don't know your story as well as you, the intricacies of it. So who's most likely to have the answers is yourself. So when people are put back in the driver's seat or the captain's seat, it's empowering. And then when you're put back in that sense of power for your own life, you're able to work through things and process things and go, all right, let's do it. Now it's safe to release. Do you know what I mean? So as a practitioner, we're just there to find where the body's storing things, how it's storing it. Our energies are connected together within a session. So the information I have and the information you have are working together for the common good of you. But it's all you in the end. So I think that's why it's so powerful.
Yeah, it is, because our body knows, doesn't it?
100%.
Our body always knows. And when we go to a session as well, our body will know what's safe to be released and what's, ready to be released perhaps, and what needs to be released or looked at. And I mean, that's what's so cool about it as well. And so you're facilitating this healing through the power of the person who is giving you the information.
Correct. Facilitation of healing. I'm not a healer, so to speak. So it's very different. No,
that's incredible.
I think it was Hippocrates who said, there's a healing force within, an innate healing force within all of us. So we work with that.
I freaking love that, because I think that comes back to all of us remembering the power within, like across the board. Like that's the truth across the board. Like, we are responsible for who we are. We get to stand in our power. We get to choose how we want to heal ourselves. And if kinesiology resonates with us, that is something that we would go and do. Like, I love it. I'll shout it from the rooftops, because I know how powerful it is. And because it's tapping into what your body already knows. but it's putting you, I love how you said that, the captain of the ship, you're putting in the driver's seats, taking responsibility for who you are. And it's something that we need to do across the board.
Oh yeah.
In every area of our life,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Don't have people telling, I mean, yes, you can have people's opinions and hear what they've got to say and take their wisdom on board, but then ultimately how you choose to show up in the world and how you want to be, that is on you. And that 100%. Is an empowering, cool thing.
Yeah, exactly right. Like the main word you mentioned there is what you choose, like your choice. So a lot of what I work with is where people feel they have no choice. And they feel so disempowered, and they go through life and they feel disempowered because they feel they don't have a choice in what they're actually doing. But then when you flip the switch and you say, no, I choose to do this so I can live the life that I want to live, or I choose to work 12 hours a day in order to get ahead in life. I choose to do this. When you start putting people back in choice, the power just switches back on like that, and they feel so much better, and they can take responsibility for their lives, and they feel more in control as well. It's huge.
It is huge, isn't it? It is like flicking a switch. It's like it's the choice point, but it's also I mean, I keep coming back to the empowerment because I can feel it in my gut while I'm talking to you. Can you feel it there too?
In my gut, yeah. There's a fire in the belly.
There's a fire in the belly. Yeehaw, baby. That's, I mean, and that's what's exciting. And I think more and more people are stepping into their power and their truth and their knowing. And like, we've fumbled about, we've all fallen on our faces. We've all been out of alignment. We've all been in alignment. We've all, and then we just keep treading the path and knowing that we get to choose. I mean, I've always said that the choice is like our superpower. It is our superpower. And it's not just choosing A or B, it's choosing maybe I want to do X, Y, Z. Like it's that's up to us.
Yeah, choose your own adventure.
Yes, choose your own adventure. Love those books.
That's the way.
Oh, that's awesome. And as well, you were talking about the study that you're doing and just also that you work with energy. Can you talk a bit more about how you work with energy and what that might look like?
How I work with energy?
Yeah, I know that's sometimes a hard one to kind of put into words, isn't it?
It is. It's not the easiest, for sure.
Just put you on the spot. Sorry, mate.
Well, basically, the way we work with energies, we work with the basis of the meridian system, right, from traditional Chinese medicine, which has been around for thousands of years, much longer than the medical models that we have today. But we can bring them together. So with energy, like with a lot of what you do, is at the base level of everything is vibration, is a frequency. So into the muscle, into the cell, right at an atomical level, there's a vibration, right? So when that vibration is off, we're working in disharmony, right? And the job with energy work is to bring harmony to the cells at a vibrational level, right? So I've gone way off track here. I'd love to start again.
No, keep going. No, this is awesome. Awesome. I love it.
So going back to working with like the meridian system. So the way we're taught in PKP, in energy kinesiology, is you have the triangle of health, right? So you've got your physical, you've got your chemical, which is nutritional, and you've got your emotional, mental health, right? So we want that equilateral triangle of health to have a good life. That's holistic health. In between all the sides of those triangles, or inside that triangle, is what we like to explain as the energy systems. So we've got the flow of qi through our meridian systems, through our chakra systems, through our electromagnetic body, right? That flows into the physical world, which then flows into the mental, emotional, chemical stuff. And then outside the triangle, you've got our relationships, our environment, the world we live in, our work, friendships, everything like that. And then outside of that circle, we've got consciousness. We're all in this one big circle together. So energy flows from the middle of that triangle out into everything. Right. So I always say that healing starts from within and then spirals out into the world. So what we do with kinesiology is we try to find the energy imbalances through the meridian system through muscle testing. So I've got certain muscles that will relate to certain meridian channels and certain energy systems in the body. So we're able to find where there is disharmony in the body. It's got nothing to do with how strong your arm is, or how weak your arm is, or how injured your arm is. If I'm testing and then your muscle just goes out of nowhere when we hit a certain point which relates to a certain meridian, we're able to find what the emotional or the physical or the chemical stress is that's creating that imbalance in that system. And then from there, we're able to remedy it and restore flow to that meridian. And we do this through testing the muscles, and the muscles will hold strong. The remedies may be lifestyle changes, nutritional changes, emotional awarenesses, vibrational medicines such as flower essences. Could be that you need to meditate. Could be so many. It could be anything. Anything can fix anything, and anything can cause anything is our motto. So that's basically a long-winded version of how energy works. or a still short-winded version, because there's so much to it. I hope I answered it clearly.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's awesome. And I'm thinking about different kinesiology sessions too. Like, I mean, when you do the muscle testing, I love that you say that, because it isn't about how strong your arm is or anything like that. It's giving you the messages, and you might be able to go to something 8 years old, like. And so for people as well who know that they want to do some healing, but they don't necessarily want to relive everything. Like, that's why kinesiology is so powerful as well too, because you don't have to tell the story over and over again. You find where that energy point is in your system, your body, your etheric, wherever, and then you can do what you need to in the session to release that. And I think that's a really to me is such a powerful healing modality, because some things don't need to be relived, or some things we don't even know that they're there. We just don't even know, like we were saying at the start.
Yeah, that's that suppression. We immediately suppress these traumas that we can't deal with at the time. We had no idea how much it was affecting us, but our behaviors and stuff and our patterns of life have changed over time due to this suppression or this trauma that has been stuck in the body for so long. So yeah, we also got to keep it light as well. We don't have to relive again and again and again these pains of our lives. It's not bypassing, but we can go acknowledge, and like I think what Dr. Joe Dispenza says a lot is, where you place your awareness is where you place your energy. So for example, it's like my big toe, I can feel it now because my awareness is there. Now I'll bring it back to Narita. So the awareness is there now. So that's where my energy is going. That's where my energy is flowing. So when we start to uncover things that have been suppressed or depressed for so long, and we put our awareness there, we put our energy there in a safe space with the right practitioner, that awareness can make things shift very quickly, right? And sometimes it's the awareness that's all you need.
Yeah, Yeah, that's so big. That's so true. Because you can't change what you don't acknowledge. But once you acknowledge it, you don't need to stay there.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I love, like, with the work that I do, like I help people reprogram their subconscious mind for their version of success, whatever that looks like for them. So we're putting our attention, our focus there. But along that journey, let's say one of your intentions is to align with the frequency of our highest potential, which is something I always say. But then you will then, no doubt, come into contact with someone like yourself and then release some stuff that is blocking you, because in order to align and shift, then there's some stuff that might need to be released. 100%. And so that's, everything is all part of the journey. There's not one thing, and everything all sort of links together, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does, doesn't it? There's no straight path.
No, definitely not.
So I thought I had this sorted. I mean, that seems to be the theme of this month, is like, I thought I worked on that. But
yeah, don't you just love those ones? They just smack you in the face and you're just like, really?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, what is it that you come up against working with people like that? Like, what's the main thing that's in people's way?
I think self-doubt and the worthiness, thinking that we're not worthy of having the things that we truly desire, and so holding back on what we truly desire is a big one. And I think when we shift that, when we do the work to shift that, it's amazing. It is amazing, because we start to, actually, I am worthy of this, and it's coming from a new place, a new frequency. And then you're not operating from those old patterns, because when you're operating from a pattern of not worthy, then that is the frequency that you're emitting, whether you're aware of it or not. And when you're operating from that frequency of, yeah, I'm worthy, and in flow and alignment, that's when things start to shift and the synchronicities start to happen, you know? So I think, yeah, that's a big one. Yeah.
100%.
What about with you people coming in? Is that similar?
Very similar. Very similar. That seems to be the underlying theme of everything.
Yes.
And what can manifest from that is incredible. Like, we may be working on injuries or illness. Like, I don't treat illnesses. We don't treat, diagnose, cure, anything like that. We work with the body. But no matter what disharmony or dis-ease that people are coming in with, a lot of it at the bottom line, when you get to the cause of everything, is this self-worth, confidence, that belief in self, belief in life. I can do it, I can't do it, you know, I deserve this, I don't deserve it. And a lot of just feeling safe in this world as well. Safe to be able to be yourself. A lot of people not being themselves, and not feeling safe to be themselves or put themselves out there. I know I've gone through that. I continue to work through it. I mean, going on this podcast is, you know, that one step in that direction. Of that self-belief, self-worth, and I can put myself out there. So there's a lot of that at the base of everything, and what can stem from that's incredible. Like injuries, illnesses, the wrong job, the wrong relationship. The list is endless.
It is, isn't it? It is. And that's why it's so important to do the work in a way, however it resonates. Like, but it's that self-belief thing, and knowing, and what you were saying as well, like putting yourself out there as you know, putting yourself out as who you are, because so many of us have been belittled, shamed, squashed down, told to be seen and not heard. Like, you just be over there, just be a good little boy, be a good little girl, you know. And so you've kind of put yourself in a box in a way. And so it's like, I guess it's like the butterfly thing, isn't it? It's you've been in a cocoon and then coming out, but also, like, you know, it's like removing the layers that really aren't us. removing those layers that no longer serve us, to be able to just fully express who we are. And the more that we do that, I mean, the easier it gets. But it can still be scary, like at the same time. But that's then takes courage. And when you step into your courage, you step into your power. And it's not like you have to do something big every day, but it's about doing something each time, and acknowledging it, and being kind to yourself. If sometimes things aren't as easy as you want it to be, that's okay. you are where you are. Just keep taking one step at a time.
That's right. Well, that's brilliant. Like, you need to take it back to that sense of one step at a time. It's okay. You didn't make it this time, that's all right. At least you gave it a go.
Yes.
Like, don't beat yourself up about it. I mean, we can do that, and there's points where we do put pressure on ourselves in order to succeed. But yeah, I find like a lot of people, or a lot of what I've done as well, is you place your happiness on that success, or you place your happiness away from you, where that version of you is the one who's going to be happy. That version of you is the one who's going to be free. That version of you is the one who's going to have abundance when you get there. But then we beat ourselves up because we're not there yet. But what we've done is we've placed everything outside of ourselves.
Yep.
Which means we're not aligned with it. So we've got to bring that back into that present moment, and feel what that feels now, and take that step to put yourself out there. I mean, like you're doing, putting your podcast out.
Yeah.
How's that journey been?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, it is stepping out. It's like, and chatting with awesome humans. And I've wanted to, and what's funny, I think I've said this in another podcast. Like, I never thought I would ever even do video. I thought I would just write little posts and that would be it, and then eventually you do video, and then eventually you put yourself out there. And sometimes you say things, you go, oh man, I could have said that better. And you put stuff out there and you think, oh, did I, but it doesn't matter, because all of us are evolving and growing together. We're all at different stages of our journeys. We're all on our path. And I think if we're following our heart and our intuition, then whatever comes up for us is there as a teaching tool anyway. It's there for us to grow and expand if we allow it. If we allow it to. So it's very powerful. And you said something else before, and now I've forgotten what I was going to say about it, but that's okay, because I think what we were talking about just like right before you asked me that question.
We're talking about the putting your happiness or your freedom.
Oh, yes, because I really just wanted to honor what you said. It's so true, because we put it out there. How you said that was beautiful. Everything does begin within, and everything happens now. So if we want to be that version of us that sits on a podcast, has a chat, or and just connects with awesome humans, then we be that now. That's the frequency we've got to be. And so when you said that, I was just like, I mean, that's it. When that drops in and it lands, it just makes so much sense. I like to use the example of, if you're not super fit, but you want to get fit, what would a fit person do? A fit person would get up, they would do some fitness training, they would eat well, they would, so you be that from that moment. And don't beat yourself up from where you were, just start where you are. And that's all you can do anyway. Exactly. And then this time next year, you'll be fighting fit,
Yeah. And then you'll be doing something else.
Yeah, totally.
Doing something else. But as long as you stay in that alignment with what you want, and not in that, what do you call it? Negative drudge or sludge. Yeah. The stuff that holds us back.
Yeah.
The sabotages or protections in that comfort zone.
Yeah.
Really, that's what it is. Getting out of that comfort zone. And thanks for letting me come out of mine.
Yeah, you're awesome. You're a natural, mate. It's awesome. I'm loving it. There's so much wisdom coming through, and I knew there would be. And because, I mean, I've had the privilege of being able to chat to you many a time, and just what comes through and your knowledge around different oils and what are they called? They're called the little things that you hold on to know. Is that the Help me out here. I'm drowning.
You got
the things you hold on to, the herbs, the
herbs. Yeah.
when you hold on to, when you're doing a session and you'll go, okay, I'll see what you need that will help.
Yes. A lot of my tools are based on essential oils. I'm moving in a lot into nutrition and herbal stuff as well. But that's using your body's innate wisdom, your body telling me exactly what you want, why you need it, how much you need, and what for.
Yeah.
But there's the range is endless when you get into this work, because if you've, for example, forgive me if I'm going off track a bit,
go wherever you want.
Obviously with my path there's been a lot on mental health and overcoming mental health, and then mental health can't always be treated mentally or worked with mentally. There's a lot of nutrition that comes behind mental health as well. Like if you're deficient in certain vitamins and certain minerals especially, then your system's not going to function and fire properly. Like we want, the thoughts that fire together wire together. If we can boost that with nutrition, it's going to be even more powerful. So this is where we got to tie in that holistic model with not just like for mental health, the physical ailments that come with helping mental health as well, which studies are coming out now one after the other that are saying physical exercise is more powerful than any medication on the market, like tenfold. So tying all that in holistically, good nutrition, good food, good mind, and vice versa with everything else. We need the mental health to help our physical body. We need the physical body to be able to move, to get us to eat good food and make right decisions and feel strong in this world type of thing. So the holistic model is the way to go. I'm rambling, I'm sorry.
No, you're not at all. It's perfect. This is a chinwag. I've been rambling as well. I love it. This is how we'd be chatting anyway, which we are.
Yeah.
But I love what you're saying as well, like just about the fact that like everything is connected. Everything is connected. And I guess everything starts in the gut too. Like not only does it begin within, but a lot of stuff starts in the gut, doesn't it? Like
it can, yeah.
But maybe not always as well. Yeah, depending.
That's the thing. It's energy. Could start as a vibration somewhere. It could start as a thought.
Yeah. The
Could
thoughts, the emotions, the energy, it's so, I love this topic, and I just love exploring, because there is so many different ways where we can go with all of this sort of stuff, because everything's connected, and we have that power within to really to like we said before, to really just stand in our power and to really be the captain of our ship. I love that you said that. What kind of services do you offer as a kinesiologist at the moment?
Services. So I do one-to-one kinesiology sessions.
Yeah.
They're my bread and butter. They're my go-to. And that's where I recommend everyone start.
Yeah.
First session I offer is 90 minutes. We go through a nice long history, because like we said, anything can cause anything. And it gives me a better understanding of your story. Like I really want to understand a person's story when we start working together, because it helps me better understand where to go or how to listen or what to listen for, especially for nutritional things as well.
Can I ask something on that before you keep going with your flow? With the timeline thing, that's the kind of thing where you kind of get specific, but you also put in things that maybe if they pop up while you're writing it out, to definitely put it in there, because it might seem insignificant, but it might actually be something to shift. Is that right?
100%. Yeah. I think a lot of what we like leave out, we go, oh, that's not important. Oh, that's not important. It's like, you were dropped on your head when you were 10. Like can be a pretty big deal, you know.
Yeah.
Or you were bullied at school, and we don't see that as trauma. It's like, no, write that down. It helps me better understand, because that's where we start to formulate all these patterns, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, first session, 90 minutes, good history taking, and we do a full protocol PKP, kinesiology balance.
Yeah.
That'll go for about an hour. I try to keep it to an hour. I tend to run overtime as well. I won't ever rush anything on the table either. So if we're digging up stuff and we need a little bit more of time to process, I'll always allow for someone to be able to process on the table.
Yeah.
From there, offer follow-up sessions, which are generally 1 hour or an hour and a half if you decide you want a longer session, which is fine. Other sessions I offer, which are really fun and really cool, are surrogate sessions, where we can actually work on someone who's not in the room or not present, or can't physically get on the table, say if they're in a wheelchair, quadriplegic or whatnot, non-verbal, in a coma. We can still work on their systems through energy. So I do a lot of that work for parents and young kids. So we're able to work through the parent and work on the child through their energy systems. And my kids are plugged into their parents' nervous system. So the things that come up in those sessions are unbelievable once we get the parents surrogating for the child. I've had grown men in here, when we get them surrogating for their 4-year-old child, they start pissing themselves laughing, acting childish, feeling weird and feeling like their kid, which is unreal. And then from there, we're able to work on the kid and give work on protocols or home reinforcement to be able to help maintain the energy shifts that come up during the session, which are unreal. They're my favorite.
Yeah. They're so powerful, aren't they? Because I guess you kind of have to, and you can probably explain it better than me, but move your energy to the side so that you can be connected to your child, or to the person, whoever it might be, and really tap into their energy, of course, with their permission. Obviously you 100%. Get the permission energetically. But yeah, I mean, I'm just imagining these guys on the table acting like a 4-year-old kid. Like, how cool. I mean, that's a good way to time travel back in time for yourself as well.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a huge eye opener. It's, like you said, always 100% permission, and there's always a resonant frequency as well. So there's benefit to both the parent and the child, or the person who's surrogating for the person who's not here. There's always a lesson involved for the person who's on the table as well. It's not just because that's their connection, right? So they have to be connected through some type of frequency or vibration, and so they'll have similar things going on that they can understand and interpret for the person who may not be here. So with those, because I mainly use them for parents and their children, the feedback I get is like, because they start to see things from their child's perspective, they better understand them and their needs, and so then therefore their relationship dynamic changes, and they're able to actually meet at this new level of understanding, which is really, really cool.
That is so powerful. That is so powerful. And I think a parent would absolutely love that, especially if they're having, if their kid's having issues, or they're not seeing eye to eye on something, or they're not understanding why they might be, freaking out about something, for example, or like why they process things differently to perhaps how they do as well.
Yeah. It's huge, and that getting at that level is unbelievable for them to see. It's like, okay, I'm a 4-year-old. I've got so much energy. I just want to run and laugh and And, pick on dad and, pick on mum and see what kind of trouble I can cause, what I can get away with. And, and to be able to understand that and see that that's what they're doing and they're being kids and, maybe saying, oh, we might need to change diet a little bit because we're so high because we've had so much sugar or something like that, or there's parasites involved or, anything like that we can kind of work on. But it's really cool to see the shifts with parents and kids, because it's awesome when you get that dynamic of the family shifting as well, because then everybody benefits in that.
Yeah. Oh, that is so special. And powerful, isn't it? I can see why it's what's your favorite thing to do, because you're seeing it on all levels, aren't you? I mean, obviously one-on-one's just as awesome too, but to see the shift and the energetic, and the family would feel it. The family would just if you're having those sort of, I don't know what to call them, not aligned with each other, and then you come home and things are just isn't that an awesome place to be?
Yeah, you restore harmony. Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes it takes a little while for the energy to integrate, so it's not always instant, but once you start implementing the tools and the lessons and take that responsibility and get in that captain seat again, you're able to see consciously what's going on.
Yeah. So good. So bloody good, Nate.
It's so good.
It's so good. I love it. I'm looking at the time going, okay, how long have we talked? We'll probably talk for about an hour, I think. Which is
40,
awesome.
50.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a chinwag beforehand, didn't we?
Well, we did. Oh, thank you. We did. Chinwag. I love that word, chinwag. I mean, that's how it should be. Chinwag. Got another person who says yarn. That's yarn. A good one too. Good old yarn. Yeah. Is there something on your heart that you would love to share right now?
What do you mean?
Just anything. Is there anything coming up that you'd want to share while we're chatting right now? It doesn't matter if there isn't.
No, there is. I'm really grateful for this opportunity to be able to talk with you, talk about kinesiology, have a go old chinwag. Grateful that we've been able to meet and our worlds have aligned, Everything's led up to this moment. So yeah, massive thanks to you and what you're doing and what you're putting out there. And I listen to your podcast and just keep growing as well, and that's really cool to watch too. So I'm glad to be part of it. So
yeah, thanks, Nate. You're a bloody legend. You're an absolute legend. And if you're watching and listening to this right now, you can see what a legend he is. So, I mean, if you need to get some kinesiology happening, you know exactly where to go, let's be honest. But I'm so grateful as well for being able to connect, and everything is divine, perfect timing. And I always knew that I was going to get you on the podcast well before you did. So which is really cool too. So I'm grateful that it's finally landed at that time. So thank you for being on here. Now, how can people find you, Nathan? What is the best way for people to reach you?
The best way, you can contact me directly. My phone. My phone number is 0466 852 322. There you go.
Wow, you put it out on the internet now. Watch out for the spammers.
It's on the internet anyway. So
yeah, good point.
There you go. You can prank call me. That's fine. Just make sure it's at a reasonable hour. My website as well, which is nathangunner.com, nathanguner.com. And on there, you also find I'm developing an online store as well. So if you need supplements, I've got EMF protection stuff, which is pretty cool.
Very cool.
I'm constantly adding more things to that, medicinal mushrooms and salt lamps and all things to help your life holistically. So that's on there too. And I forgot to mention one thing.
Yeah, tell me. Right? Bring it in.
Another thing that I actually do is I work very closely. I volunteer with the Indigenous community. with Hands on Health Australia. So once a month, I go out there to Thornbury and I volunteer kinesiology to the Indigenous community, which is amazing. Like the response that I get there to kinesiology and the and the depth of understanding that I learn as well from the history of this place that we live in the land and the culture and the history and how much healing actually needs to happen there. So super duper grateful to be a part of that. And yeah, so I'm out there every month volunteering for free.
Fantastic. That's awesome.
So basically tying that back into my online store, anything that anybody purchases helps me to be able to help others in the community as well. So always done a little bit of volunteer work with the homeless in my early 20s, and it's always been a big part of my life and something I love to do. And it's to make it a bit sustainable, I've got these products for sale, all stuff I endorse. So yeah, so the help would be much appreciated so I can keep doing what I do.
Yeah.
Where else was I? You can get me on Instagram, which is NG Kinesiology. Reach out, say hi. I only just got on there. I don't really know how it works, so forgive me if I post things 10 times and delete them and try to figure out how it all works. I was out of the game for a while, so I got no idea what's going on with it. But
well, at least one social media is good. So you got your website, you got your phone number, you got your Instagram. I mean, I think that's pretty good. That can be so bloody overwhelming otherwise.
There's too much out there now. Just give me a call. Just call me. Send me a text.
Call me. Yeah. Everything's a song if you want it to be. I love that you do that work as well, Nathan. And I think the funny thing about doing the work where you're volunteering and serving in that way as well is that it's not selfish, but it makes you feel good because your heart expands as well, and it's such an awesome energy exchange wherever it might be. So that is so cool that you do that too, and that you have a shop that then allows you to be able to continue doing that stuff. So that is awesome. Yeah. I freaking love chatting to you, Nathan. I'm so grateful to have you on the show. This has been awesome.
It's been great.
Yeah. So hey,
let's do it again.
Let's do it again. We will. We've popped the cherry now. You're like, all right, when's the next one?
All right, let's go.
Let's go. So, all right. So just to wrap things up, I just want to say thank you to you who has been listening or watching to our chinwag. It's been awesome to be here with you. If you feel inclined, give it a like, subscribe. If you haven't already, leave a review. If you're listening to this on wherever you listen to podcasts. And yeah, leave a comment too. Share your thoughts. Love hearing from you. So that is awesome. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Nath, for being here. It's just been an absolute honor and pleasure to have you on the show. And yeah, I look forward to catching up with you all next time.